Greetings and welcome to a live episode of Catholicism and Coffee, live from our studio or our kitchen. Depends upon what your purview is. Anyway,
it's a multi-purpose room.
It is a multi-purpose room. Well, as you know, I am Stephen Kaczynski.
I am Beth Kaczynski.
We talk about Catholicism, all things Catholic, and enjoy some great brews. I'm going to go over a few things today. Why don't we do some housekeeping first? So we have something coming up.
Yes. So, as you probably know, we wrote an Advent devotional a couple years ago. We also wrote a Christmas devotional. This year, we're going to be putting out a very special edition of our Advent and Christmas devotional in one book. And we're going to have some added things to it too, which we're working on right now. And we hope to have it out in about a month or so.
Yeah, we're putting it together. It's actually coming along quite nicely.
Yes.
By the way, I have some new edits on it you need to look over.
Yes.
It's going to be interesting to kind of see. It's interesting kind of going back through it because life has been different since we first wrote those books, and I like to think I've become a bit of a better writer.
You've become a great writer.
So we've got that. You can pick up my book. I forgot to grab my copy. Shoot. Oh well.
Hey, assistant, can you go grab the copy? No, you're just going to sit over there? She's just here to supervise, I guess.
Yeah. And our tech support's making sure that StreamYard doesn't crap out on us because there are a few other YouTubers who use StreamYard and it's been causing them problems.
Yeah.
So that's never fun. Let's see.
Don't forget about our course.
Check out our course, Morality in Movies. We lowered the price to be a bit more competitive. And also just because we want to make it accessible to you, the consumer who watches our stuff.
Yes.
Let's see. Anything else as far as housekeeping goes? Do we have anything else as far as housekeeping goes?
I can't think of anything. The big thing is the new book / devotional that's coming out in October, hopefully.
Yes. Very, very cool. All right. Shall we get into it?
Yeah. So, Catholic world. Exciting things happening.
Yes. We, on Sunday, we had 2 new saints canonized.
Yay, 2 new saints.
Both were fairly young when they died.
Mm-hmm.
We had Pier Giorgio Frassati and Carlo Acutis.
Yes.
So what you have some stuff about the individuals. So who are they?
So this is a very big moment for the Catholic world, Catholic Christians, Catholics.
Yes. This is also the major historical thing. This is Pope Leo XIV's first canonization.
Yes.
Now, Pope Francis set up that the 2 of them were to be canonized, but this is Pope Leo actually declaring their canonization.
Yes.
So that's pretty neat.
Yes. So after Pope Francis passed away, it was kind of up in the air. Is Carlo Acutis especially still going to become a saint? Because he was scheduled to be canonized about a week or so after Pope Francis passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pope Leo had a big meeting a while ago, and then they decided to move forward with the canonization for Carlo Acutis, and then Pier Giorgio Frassati as well. And then there's I think 8 others who are going to be canonized in October, which is great. And yay, Pope Leo, he's canonizing some awesome people.
Yeah, there's a lot more. We're just going to focus on the 2 that were canonized last Sunday.
Because I don't remember all the other names.
Because we don't have all the facts about the other. That was 8, you said? I
think it's 8.
Yeah, 8 others that will be canonized in October. We'll probably cover that.
Oh yeah, we absolutely will.
Closer.
Yes. So another big thing with this canonization, we have our first millennial saint. There is a saint who was born in the same decade as me.
He's younger than I am, so.
Well, you're old.
Yes, I am. Found more gray hair the other day.
Yeah, so these are pretty exciting things, but there's a lot of other factors where, it shouldn't seem so significant that these 2 young men were canonized, because we've had young saints before. The youngest saints are 12, 13 from what I remember. And of course, there's the Holy Innocents.
Those are the youngest.
Yeah, they're probably the youngest. But You got I think Saint Lucy is pretty young. You got Saint Maria Goretti, who was, I think, about 12 when she passed away. So we've had young saints before. We've had saints who lived in the 21st century. We've got Mother Teresa. We have Pope John Paul II. We shared the earth with them, but they were born much earlier compared to Carlo Acutis. And these two saints who we just canonized, or who Pope Leo just canonized, were lay people. We've had plenty of laymen and women canonized. Not everyone was a priest or a nun or a pope or a bishop.
No.
Yes. But what makes these two special? So we mentioned Pope Leo's first saints that he canonized.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yes. And mentioned St. Carlo. He is our first millennial saint. And I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of teenagers receiving their confirmation choosing the name Carlo, because they're going to see, here's somebody who used the internet. Here's somebody who liked to code. Here's somebody who played video games.
He built websites.
He built websites.
From the ground up.
Oh, yes. He built a whole database of Eucharistic miracles.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yes.
And I find it just historically interesting that Pope Leo's first two canonizations are young men.
Yes.
It seems like he's going to kind of go the way a bit of JP2 in this, that he reaches out to the younger generations because he knows the church's future is in these younger generations. Yeah. And Gen Z is becoming more religious, more conservative as time has gone on. A lot of statistics have been coming out to show that. And that's quite, we'll touch on that a little bit later, but it's kind of coming out to be a bit interesting.
Yes. So first two saints, both very young men. They're both younger than me when they passed away. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like you said, very JP2-esque, because JP2 loved the youth.
Mm-hmm. Well, he set up the World Youth Day.
Yes, he did.
And if you watch the Mass, you can find it on YouTube at EWTN. They showed the Mass. And before Mass, Pope Leo came out and addressed the crowd. And he expressed how much joy he was feeling that there were so many young people in the crowd.
Yes. So another thing that makes this canonization so significant, one of the saints being canonized, his family was present. And not just, some great-great-great-grandchild. It was his mom. It was his siblings.
Who were born after he died.
Yes.
So that's pretty... neat.
Just imagine having a sibling who passed away before you were born, and now, you're seeing them canonized as saint. Or just seeing a child pass away before you, which is heartbreaking and difficult. And Antonia, she spoke about how it was difficult. It was a cross to carry. But how much joy must there be in seeing them canonized? Of course, you don't want your child to go before you. It's sad. But it's got to be very bittersweet to see them canonized and see the impact they're going to have forever.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's a tough situation, but she said Carlo's faith actually helped her. There was an interview with her and one of the EWTN reporters, and they talked about how she at first was kind of lukewarm, kind of cultural Catholic, but his faith and his dedication to the faith really inspired her to take a more serious look. Yeah. So that's pretty neat.
And hear these stories about St. Carlo, and he just seemed so wise beyond his years, because he was like 7, 8, 9 years old and insisting that his au pair was going to Mass with him and bringing him to Mass. And then this, I think, was a young man.
He was a younger man.
Yes. Who was Muslim, I want to say.
Hindu.
And then he converted to the faith because of this child.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful way to fulfill Christ's message of being like children, seeing what childlike faith can do for somebody.
Mm-hmm. And there was an interview. We'll be referring back to the CWTN thing because we were curious. We wanted to see what it was like. And there was another one where the guy who actually started the cause for Carlo Acutis to be canonized. He talked about how they went through everything of his. And this young man was extremely well disciplined. Said he never did more than 1 hour on video games per week.
I could learn a lesson from that.
We all could.
Yes.
But stuff like that. And they said, yeah, the reason this moved on as relatively quickly as it did was because it was just there wasn't many real impediments.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat.
Yeah. So we're talking about St. Carlo a lot. Let's talk about St. Pier Giorgio Frassati.
Yeah.
So he lived quite a bit before Carlo. He was born in 1901.
Yeah.
So 90 years apart. And he was just known for his great love of the outdoors. He liked to climb mountains.
He was a hiker.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was a hiker. But like Carlo, he just had this beautiful love for the faith. He would inspire others in much different ways, obviously, because he didn't use the internet. He wasn't building databases of Eucharistic miracles. But he would just encourage people to, I think, go to confession, go to Mass.
Mm-hmm. And he would just take them up the mountain. They would pray rosaries and just hang out there and talk about life. And he was very much advocate for helping the poor. He would constantly, whatever pocket money he had, he would be using it to help the poor. And it was pretty neat.
Yes. And notice both St. Carlo and St. Pierre, they had this love of either the outdoors or St. Francis, which I find kind of cool because St. Carlo loved St. Francis.
Mm-hmm. So, what other things do you want to say about the saints? The Mass was actually very interesting.
Yes. Carlo's
younger brother proclaimed the first reading. He actually did a pretty good job, actually. We'd already been to Mass, but
we had to watch it.
But we'd already wanted to see what it was like, and it was kind of neat because we'd already heard the readings, and it was kind of neat to watch that particular the young man read the readings. That was pretty neat.
Yes.
And they did the gospel twice, which was interesting. They read it once in Italian and once in Greek.
Yeah.
And they had two different deacons doing it. I'm pretty sure they were both deacons because they had sleeves on their vestments.
Yes.
So that's the way you can tell a priest and deacon apart. They have deacons have sleeves. Priests do not.
Yeah, so I think this is great that Pope Leo, in his first 6 months, not even, is already canonizing saints, with more to come. He's proclaimed a new doctor of the church as well.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we see a lot more saint canonizations from Pope Leo.
We probably will.
Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah. I don't know how. We'll have to research this. How many has one pope canonized? We'll have to see if Pope Leo's going to try to beat a record or something.
Yeah. How many popes or how many saints has a pope canonized in their first 6 months?
I meant throughout the entire pontificate.
Yeah, that too.
That would be pretty cool.
Yes. And already proclaiming one doctor of the church, which is St. John Henry Newman, in case you hadn't heard.
That should have been done ages ago, in my opinion.
Well, he hasn't been canonized all that long.
No, but it should have happened sooner.
Yes. And I think the past few popes, they've only proclaimed 2 new doctors. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how many Pope Leo ends up adding. I
wouldn't be surprised if there were a lot more.
I would not either, but we'll see what happens because, Pope Leo has a say in it, but ultimately it comes from the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, but I think we'll at least get 1 more, maybe 2 more. That'd be cool.
We'll see.
So what are some facts about our young, are there any other interesting facts about our young saints?
I can't think of many more.
Okay. Anything else we want to cover with them?
Pray for them, or pray to them, learn about them.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty cool. Got kind of a soft spot for Carlo Acutis, working in IT myself.
Me too. Wearing my work shirt right now. So there you go. All right, I guess it's time for the heavy stuff.
Yes. So great things happened on Sunday. There's no doubt about that. But amidst all the happiness and the joy, there's been a lot of sorrow. A few weeks ago, we had that unfortunate school shooting in Minnesota,
Yeah,
which
we're
just horrible.
yeah, we're still reeling from that. Fortunately,
Yeah.
one of the kids who was there was a touch and go period. She actually is doing better.
Yeah, which praise God for that.
Yeah, so far it's only still 2 confirmed uh, murdered.
Yeah.
3 died because the gunman took his own life. Um, Still tragic. Pray for their families. Um, please, because it's a tough situation. Um, then there was a shooting, another shooting. Actually, funny enough, well, not funny. Yesterday,
Yeah, I think it was at a high school.
yeah. Um, Only a couple. Fortunately, only. Well, it's unfortunate that life was lost, but only the shooter was confirmed dead. But there were injuries and such, and it was without warning, and it was horrible. And then, of course, the one that's dominating the news cycle right now is Charlie Kirk, a conservative commentator who would often go to college campuses and debate. He was shot wide and out in the open. We saw the video, and it just was, he was just sitting there. He
Yeah.
was talking, and then pop, and he went down, and it's really sad. He's younger than I am, 31 years of age, married with 2 young kids. One was born in 2018, so she'd be 6 now.
Yeah.
And then the other was born in 2022, so that would make her about almost 3. 2 young daughters. Heartbreaking, good family man.
Great pro-life advocate.
Very much a strong pro-life advocate.
Yes.
It got him a lot of hate, but he stood the course. Christian man. His wife was actually a practicing Catholic. They actually had their marriage recently blessed by the church, and apparently he'd been going to mass with her pretty regularly, especially recently. So maybe there's a baptism of desire coming over to our side. Here's to hoping. But he actually, one of his last videos, I don't remember exactly how long ago, he was actually talking very positively about the Blessed Virgin. He said, Mary is the antidote to toxic feminism. And if you look online, there are a few Protestants who are very loud, who are quite, I'm trying to think of a better word than this, but nasty about the Blessed Mother, and it's heartbreaking. But it's nice to have someone who is of the Protestant background who is wanting to speak fondly and actually rightly about the Blessed Mother. So it was a breath of fresh air. And or a couple of times people were asking him, "Oh, why are you a Christian?" So he goes, "It's the most important thing. It saved my life." And he's very well read, very well spoken, brilliant debater.
Yeah.
Not perfect.
None of us are.
None of us are.
Yeah.
Only 2 human beings have actually Christ, but he had that whole divinity thing, so that's a little unfair to compare. And then the Blessed Mother. So it's heartbreaking seeing all that. And another tragic thing is that his family was actually there on the campus. It's just heartbreaking. Some cool stuff that I found out besides the faith stuff. I found out how he and his wife met and got together, and it's actually quite interesting. They were they had met in an airport because he was doing some traveling for something, and she was as well. She was running this store that was very much it was a clothing shop, but whoever bought some kind of shirt. They would make a second one and help give it to a homeless person or something, because she was very adamant about her faith and she wanted to practice it. And so they met and they kept in touch, struck up a conversation. Then when he started Turning Point USA, he reached out to her and he said, "Hey, I have a job. Could you come in for an interview?" And she came in for an interview, and they ended up having dinner together, and it was like a multi-hour dinner. And afterwards he goes, "Okay, I'm sorry I have to say this. I can't have you working at TP USA." And she goes, "Oh, that's fine. I've got my own business." He goes, "No, you don't understand. I can't have you working for TP USA because I actually want to date you. So I can't do that in good conscience." And she's like, "Oh, that's fine. Let's go." So that's pretty neat. So that's beautiful. It's a great story. A good, neat, cute story. So, there you go.
Yes.
And there was a quote that's attributed to him about Catholics. And he said, my wife is Catholic, so I love the devout Catholics. I have a bunch of Catholics on my staff and on my team. They are legit. They really care about stuff, and I just love them. So, as I said, maybe a baptism, a conversion of desire. I'm hoping. Maybe he'll realize, I should have looked into this sooner. Maybe he was feeling that way when he was going to Mass. Maybe he was reading Augustine and Aquinas. I wouldn't be surprised, even though he doesn't have a college degree, but still, he probably could have been reading them.
Oh, yeah.
The way he debated was very Aquinas-like, very Socrates-like, because he would ask questions. Be like, "Okay, well, why are you believing like this? How about I postulate a theory to you with your own beliefs and your own scenario here?" And some did not react well to that. Others reacted quite well to that. There's been a lot of really good, interesting folks coming out of the woodwork talking about him. And I've watched probably a dozen videos and such of his, and he's always respectful. I don't think I ever heard him curse at all. And some were, in his words, very nasty. But he was just like, he didn't lose his cool. He kept his mind about him. There were a couple of times I could see in his face he was getting a little frustrated.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever saw him raise his voice or anything.
Yes.
And it was just discourse. And it's a shame that we lost someone who could do that. And he overall did it well.
Yes.
And did I always agree with everything he said? No. But if I had known him, I probably would still hang out and have coffee or tea or whatever his persuasion was. And we talk.
Yeah.
And everyone kept saying he was always respectful to me, even if we didn't agree. He didn't take it. The South Park guys made a sketch making fun of him, and he changed his social media profile picture to the South Park sketch. And he laughed about it. He thought it was funny. It's like, I've made it, man. I'm on South Park. I'm doing okay.
Yes.
So all this, whatever your political persuasion is, please pray for his family. Yeah. They are suffering. Yeah. Pray for the people at TP USA. He was their boss, and a lot of them probably hit their friend. It's just a heartbreaking, heart-wrenching thing. Husband, father, wife who's not going to have her husband at home. I couldn't imagine it. A pair of young ladies without their dad. Dear. Yeah.
And these tragedies are extremely unfortunate, but let's hope and pray that something good can come from them and that lessons can be learned and we can work towards peace and unity.
Yeah. And just pray a lot. Pray that justice is done, not revenge, justice. So pray for, I've been on several prayer threads and I'm just like, temperance and prudence. I'm needing that right now because I'm angry. I'm genuinely angry. But as a man, what much wiser than I am, it says righteous anger is okay, but if you end up wanting to use it to harm indistinguishably, that's not righteous anger. That's vengeance. And that's not up to us. But when you want the better for other people, that is the righteous anger. And I'm hoping it betters us as a nation, as Christians, and those who debated him, and those who were respectful towards him. And he tried to be respectful towards them. There were some who were like, hey, I'm struggling right now. And he's like, okay, let's talk. There are a lot of people who are like, are there going to be people picking up the microphone? I think there are. And I'm hoping there'll be 20 more like him to take his place, who are that respectful, that honorable, at least from what we could see. And it seemed like from people who've had personal one-on-one interactions with him that he was just genuine. He was just, what you saw was what you got.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that is, I hope people will take that to heart and actually make something of it.
Amen to that.
Anything you want to add? I was kind of going on for a minute there. Sorry.
You put it pretty well. Just no matter what side you're on, this violence needs to stop immediately.
It's not acceptable.
It is not the answer.
It's actually cowardice. Because if you can't win, and if you're saying you rather see someone dead because you don't like what they have to say or how they debate, what they debate about with you and such, it shows you intellectually you're a coward. And this demonic, I do not use that word lightly, celebration about murdering a husband and a father, not acceptable. You're detached from your humanity. And I pray you get it back. I'm being genuine right now. I'm usually genuine, but I'm being serious here. I pray that you get your humanity back, and I hope you learn your lesson. I hope you don't have to learn it the hard way. Some are learning it the hard way right now because some people say stuff and they're losing their jobs over it. And frankly, yeah, there's freedom of speech. There isn't a freedom of consequences.
There's not.
And I hope the consequences of this world save you from consequences in the next. Because that's worse.
And no matter your age, your politics, whatever, nobody deserves to be killed like that. Life and death is ultimately in God's hands. Do not take it into your own, for yours or anybody else's.
Anyway, we got a little heavy there, but I think it was necessary for us to talk about because it's been in the civil discourse for quite some time.
Yes, and with so much happening, this isn't just one tragedy. This has been so many in a very short time.
Yeah, it's tragic. And also, when you talk about someone, please check your facts. Some have had to eat some crow because they would say, oh, he was for this. Did he really say that? And then they got called out and they had to eat some crow. And this is negative stuff, not the good positive stuff. This is negative stuff to show the unbridled hatred, and it's dark, and it's so sad.
Be kind to others. Love others. That doesn't mean you have to be their best friend. Doesn't mean you have to hang out and have coffee with them every day. And the words of St. Augustine, it means to will the good of another. Want what is best for them. And that's what we are called to do.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what you believe, regardless of what religion you are, regardless of what political side you lean towards, desire the good of others. Desire that they see the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Desire that they love, that they respect others.
Mm-hmm. And just plain out be honorable.
Yes.
If you drop the ball on something, then be like, okay, be honest.
We are all called to discipleship.
We're called to follow him. That one behind me.
Yes.
It's a representation, it's not idolatry. So any of you characters who want to argue with about that, calm down. And spit and curse at those who spat and cursed at him, who beat him within an inch of his life and then murdered him. You know who would actually argue that? Charlie Kirk. You know who would argue that? Probably those two children who were murdered inside a church. If they had any semblance of understanding, which I would bet they would.
We talked about St. Maria Goretti earlier. She was a young girl who asked for forgiveness for those who had hurt her, for her murderers.
So, who are we?
Who are we?
I know we're leaving on a depressing note, but I think it's appropriate for this week. So in the meantime, be bold, be brave, be courageous.
Pray without ceasing. So we need it more than ever right now.
And do not let the sun set on your anger. Do not give the devil a chance to work on you. Let's listen to our better angels. So long.